Hello there, I'm Tabletop Toby. Today we're going to be doing a playthrough of Above and Below Haunted, Ryan Laukat's latest creation published by Red Raven Games. It's the standalone sequel to Above and Below, but now there are ghosts. I've done a how to play that you can find here if you would like to get an explanation of the rules and the run through of all the things of how to do the things. This is going to be a solo playthrough using the Automa's bot that came as part of the stretch goals with the game. And without further ado, let's get into that playthrough so you can see how this plays and see if maybe it's a game you might want to check out. All right, diving into the playthrough. So we're doing this as a 2-player, but I am doing it solo against the Automa. And so I'm not going to go into the detailed rules of the solo mode because the solo mode was only available as a stretch goal. So it's not widely available. I don't know if they're going to have it for sale separately. I'll talk about what I'm doing with the solo as I go through it so you know what I'm doing. But I'm just not going to go through the rules since it's not widely available. But I think it works actually pretty well, and it can be pretty challenging, and you have to be aware of how it's doing things and what it's doing. And it has some predictability, kind of like a regular player, but then some unpredictability as well, like a regular player. So I found it pretty interesting to play against so far, but we'll see how it plays as we go through. And then one other note, the standard game comes with this first player card. However, if you did do the crowdfunding, it came with this lovely ruby fish first player marker that I find quite adorable. So I just wanted to show that off really quickly. In a solo game, you're always the first player. So there's that. We're always going to go first, and the Automa will always go next. You can actually incorporate this in a game of up to 3 players as an additional player if you want. And with that, we're going to get started, and it's our turn because we are the first player. And what you often want to do is acquire villagers to get more work done, acquire buildings with beds so you can rest those new villagers, acquire potentially some of these 5 key cards that give you good kind of starting bonuses. Here, a boat. That one is a weird one. It actually allows you to build outposts without a cave card. So that kind of completely changes your strategy in the game. So I don't know if we're going to play with that because that won't give you a sense of how the normal game works. It is kind of cool because it breaks the game and changes strategies completely. But because I want to give you a sense how the regular game plays, I feel like it's kind of weird to buy that card and play with it here. This one, every time you acquire a villager, you get to take a Mystic Brew and a coin. This is just another one of the boat cards. This one is kind of cool. It allows you, when you explore, you get to roll all of your dice for how many of your villagers you do, and then you get to assign them. So you get to get the best outcome for all of them, so it makes exploring just a little bit more efficient. So I'd say getting a boat is good because that makes exploring more efficient, also gives you potentially more money. This is also good for exploring. So there's a couple of good options there. Now over here, this bed and boat for $4 is also very interesting because it gives us a boat right away, which makes exploring more efficient, and a bed. And we could potentially, because we start with $8, also get a villager in the same turn, and then we'll be able to rest that villager as well. So that actually is very tempting. Maybe a better starting option than these, although that one starting one, making exploring more efficient, is also a really good one. But we only start with 1 hammer villager, so we're only going to be able to build 1 building in our first turn because any villagers that we recruit are going to start exhausted, so we won't be able to build those until the next turn. So it's possible that the bot could take one of those away from us. This is the one I would primarily want, but if we get enough boats, we maybe don't even need that. So maybe we shouldn't worry about that. Okay, that's for... Ooh, now this is interesting. So looking over here at the villagers, so this is very repetitive. So we have 2 basically of a quill with 2 lantern. This one is a quill, but it gives a value for only rolling a 1. But this is a cool one because it's a hammer and a quill. So you can use it to build, you can use it to banish, you can use it to recruit. So it's multi-purpose, and that is pretty rare. So we might want to nab that. So we could get that And that, I'm thinking that's a pretty strong start. I think that's the plan I'm feeling. So we're going to go ahead and use our hammer villager. We're going to pay 4 coins. So 5, so we get the 1 change. We're going to take this one, which gives us a 4th bed and a boat, which we get right away. Goes into our ready area. And that's basically our turn. Now the bot has this special first action card. So the first action every turn, it just depends on the round and it tells us what that is. And it doesn't matter what kind of villager, it just tells us how many villagers are used. In this case, it's just going to use 1. And then rounds 1 through 3, it's always going to train the leftmost villager. So it's just going to train this villager. It's going to go there, and that's its turn. So back to us. We already know what we're going to do. Well, that villager is likely to be there next time and will become cheaper. We could explore a cave now, and we have this boat that we can take advantage of to guarantee that we're going to get a 3. We'd have a cave on our first turn and potentially some extra bonuses. And we could build an outpost maybe on our second turn. This game is about exploring. Maybe we should do that. The only thing is, we did get this bed so we can get that generation going. I just hate that we're not going to be able to use this worker for anything if we use this quill worker to hire. But it is getting a great worker right away. And sometimes you have to take those planning turns. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the conservative thing. We're going to use that. We're going to spend our last $4. We're going to save our exploring for next time. We get this worker. It goes into the exhausted area, and we do get a Mystic Brew because it was from over there. Now, something that we did forget to do is that the bot, just like us, because it hired from over here, does get a ghost on its building, just like we would. So we should have done that on its turn. Now, after the first turn, the bot does draw from this deck of other 18 cards and takes the actions there. Now, it shows here the cost is 3 villagers. It only has 2. It still will take the action. It will just use the rest of the villagers. And it says if you've explored this round, draw a new bot card and take the action otherwise. And so the bot has not explored yet, meaning one of the caves. So it's going to explore a basic cave. So we'll take a basic cave, and it's going to gain the rewards from the choice with the highest explore number. That is, at least explore 1. Do not gain the bonus. And so just like for us, it's going to roll to decide what story. So it's going to be story 64. We consult our handy dandy storybook. Now the instructions say to read the story for the bot as well. However, I kind of don't for the bot like actually reading the story because I don't want to ruin all the stories for myself. And I do play this game with other people as well who I think will enjoy it. So I just kind of skip to the choices for the bot. For myself, I read them because I like them. So the choices here are, it said it gets the rewards from the choice with the highest explore number. So that's going to be 64-1. So we're just going to look at the rewards. So the rewards are +1 reputation, 1 nut, and adventure card 21. So for the nut, the bot will get first claim on discovering that ingredient. And we're getting an adventure card right away. So this is 21, I believe. So this is a quest. A woman's face is trapped in a mirror and she has asked you to break the curse. Next time you explore, you read 64-3 instead of the number on the cave card. So this is now the bot's quest. The bot will now have a cave, and that's all of the rewards. It claimed the ingredient, and so that's the bot's turn. And it's our turn, and we can't really do anything with this villager. However, we can use our boat to get 1 coin. So we're going to do that. And that's a free action, and we have no villager we can use to take an actual main action, so we're going to be passing. And the bot, when it has no villagers left, also passes. So that's the end of the round. So now we're going to go to the end of round actions. So first, the Ghost Haunt. So the bot's going to lose 1 reputation. The round marker then moves up. New villagers are populated here. You rest villagers and boats. Here we have 4 beds, so we're going to be able to rest all 3 villagers that we have exhausted, and the boat's going to move back over as well. And for the bot, always, beds don't matter. All exhausted villagers just get refreshed. We're going to collect income. The bot doesn't get income because the bot doesn't deal with money at all. it's above money, we get the starting 3 income. So not a ton, but it's something. We did forget to refresh this when we built that on our turn, so we'll do that now. We would refresh goods on buildings if there were any goods that needed refreshing on buildings, but there are not. And we don't pass on the first player marker because in a solo game, we're always the first player. And then it's back to us again. All right, so first off, I think we do want to go adventuring this time. We're probably going to have to go to a basic cave, but we do want to make sure whether there are any villagers. We know it's going to, on the first 3 turns, always hire this leftmost one. These are all pretty basic. These are basic build. These are all the same workers, which kind of suck for us. It's nice to have options, and those are not options. So this building is still available. So we could build that. Now we can build twice. That's only $1. We only have $4. We could build this and get rice so we could increase our income. Could just get another boat to make exploring more efficient, which is not a terrible idea if we're going to go exploring. And it does make this maybe a more attractive buy, because we could guarantee that we could get that, and it doesn't require a 3, it just requires a 2. I think we will use our quill worker to spend the $2 to buy this leftmost one before the bot buys it. We will get a ghost in exchange for that. Now, the decision of where to put the ghost is up to us. And for us, it's going to block the benefit to the bot. In this case, it's not going to make a difference because they both have beds, so it's going to make no difference what the bot gets if it sends a ghost to us later. And the bot on his turn is going to spend 1 worker / villager to hire the leftmost villager. It would get a ghost, except for it has no place in its village to send that ghost to, so it does not get another ghost. And that's its first turn. Now for our second turn, I think we are going to do this one, the hammer, to spend our last $2 to get one of these, to get a second boat, to make our exploring more guaranteed successful. It's back to the bot. So, 1 villager. If you have built this round, draw a new bot card. So we have not built. Otherwise, build the most expensive building with a good. So there is a building with a good. So the most expensive is going to be one of these. These are the same building. So we'll build this one, and it will populate the goods there, and that's it. And then for us, we're going to explore a basic cave, so we have to do at least 2 villagers there. So we will do the 2 that we have. We'll roll the die to figure out what story we're going to do. We're going to do story 1, which is number 31. As you slog through muddy water, something tickles your leg. You climb onto a rock and realize you're covered in purple leeches. One of them looks up at you. It doesn't hurt. I'm so hungry. Don't throw me back in the water. So the leeches are talking to us. This is an issue. Convince everyone to let the leeches feed. Explore 5. Well, that is possible for us. So we could get 4 and then we could exert, and we could totally do that actually, or remove the leeches. I think because we have the boats, we could do the 5 and get whatever that is. Convince everyone to let the leeches feed. It seems really creepy though, but it's for that very reason that I think we're going to do it. I like the weird choices, and there's definitely a lot of weird choices in this game. It is above and below haunted, so there's that. So we're going to explore 5, and we have to roll before we see the results of anything. So we're going to roll for this first one here. So we got a 4, so we don't even have to use the boat for that one. And here we got a 2, so we are going to have to use one of our boats to turn that into a 6. So that gives us 4, and then we're going to have to exert. So we'll exert the basic one here. So that's going to make it the 4 from the die rolls, and then that's going to be 5. So that gets us there. Now, we could exert this one and get 6, but that's not going to get us to the bonus, so that doesn't make sense. So we're going to stop at the 5. And it's kind of nice when you're playing solo even. The rewards are in a separate paragraph, so you don't see what those are before you're making those decisions. So it's kind of nice they separate those out. So explore 5, we succeeded, so we go down and read here. Your party gags and cringes, wrangling with disgust, while the leeches finish feeding. Before the last leech drops back in the water, as a thank you, it tells you where to find some nearby thorn fruits. Reward +2 reputation. Oh, we pulled down our reputation instead of the bot's reputation for the ghost at the end of the last round. So that's good. And then we're going to go up 2. We get 1 thorn fruit. So because we were the first to discover thorn fruit, we get to claim that, and 1 coin. This worker goes to the exhausted. We get this cave as well. So we did get an injured villager out of it, but on the whole, I would say fairly successful. And because that is a more rare good, I think we will go ahead and slot that to increase our income. There's different strategies around the advancement track here, but one is that I like is you put more rare ones down here at the bottom if you can, and put more common ones like rice. You see there's already a lot of rice options out here at the top, and you can get a bunch of those there. Then that's going to be a lot more points, because the higher on this track, the more points there are. We forgot to fill that up. And because we have no villagers left, we're going to go ahead and use this boat to get another coin, since we didn't have to use it for the explorer. And we'll go back to the bot. So for 1 villager, this is the first or second round, which it is, build the leftmost key building. So this one is no longer available for us. Also gain 1 reputation and remove the leftmost villager from the board. And then we have to pass because we have no villagers left, so we can take no more main actions, and there's no free actions available for us to take. So it's back to the bot. So this would take 3 villagers, but it will still take the action. It will just spend this 1. This is round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which it is. Draw a new bot card and take the action. So it will do that. So it's going to explore another basic cave. Now, because it has this quest, the next time you explore, you read 643 instead of the number on the cave card. So it's on the quest to find the woman's face trapped in the mirror, and it tells us gain the rewards from the choice with the lowest explored number. Do not gain the bonus. So the lowest explored number is 644. So -2 reputation. So let's make sure we're doing the right one. Red, 1, 2, 4 coins. It doesn't get coins. 1 tea leaf. So it gains a tea leaf. So it is going to claim that first good there as well. Lose adventure card 21. And the bot has a second cave option as well. We already passed, and then the bot has no villagers left, so that's the end of the round. So the ghost will haunt, so this time we both lose 1 reputation because we both have 1 ghost left. The round marker moves to round 3 for the next round. We bring in new villagers, hopefully some new options here, although we don't have very much money. But we did increase our income, so maybe we'll have a little bit more. Ooh, look at that heavy adventure one. That is very enticing. We rest our villagers, so we have 4 beds, so we can rest all 4 that are over here. Now we can spend both of these Mystic Brews and get this one all the way back. I think it's early game, and I think we need to do that just to keep ahead of the game. The bot can get away from you, so I don't think we want that to happen. The boats will both come back. All of the bot's villagers come back. We're going to collect income. We now get 4, so we'll trade a 5 out. We refresh goods if there were any to refresh. And it's back to us. I'm kind of thinking I want this heavy adventure one. Plus the art on it's really cool. If we do that, the question is, what else is our plan? It would be nice to have another bed because now we have 5. This one's too expensive at 8. But it does give us a good we don't have to try to increase our income and move up this track. These 6s we could afford now. We could try to wait and hope that one gets cheaper. And if we did the rice one, there's a likelihood that we could take advantage of the in-game scoring there. So if we built that for 6, and then we could adventure with the rest of them. And we could maybe adventure Okay, I think we would like to have another bed. And I think we'll max out at the 5 beds. So I think we're going to build this one, hoping we can take advantage of that rice bonus in-game scoring. And it's the 3rd round, so we know for one villager that the bot's going to do this one, but this time it is going to get another ghost. Now we do get to choose where this one goes. I think we're going to put it on the one with the bed, so we can preserve our option to move up the reputation track more and maybe be ahead on this game. All right, back to our turn. So we're going to hold back 1 quill to banish the ghost, maybe to cave as a potential option. I think we're going to take these other 3. So we have these 2 bows, so that would be 2, 4, 6. I think we should do a dangerous cave. And we're just going to see how it goes. So wish us luck. So 5 is 143. A man drops from the branches above you, landing like a cat on the path, blocking your way. He snarls at you, his teeth bared through a bushy black beard. A dark cloak of fur hangs from his shoulders, swaying on tightened sinews and flexed muscles. I am Wolfhowl the Bandit, and I demand you give up your possessions. Fight Wolfhowl, explore 7, or persuade Wolfhowl, explore 6. Ooh. So 2, 4, 6. Even if we have kind of bad rolls, I think we could get to 7. We're going to try it. So for the left one, oh no. For the middle one, okay, that's good. And for the right one. All right. So we will spend 1 boat to change this to a 6. Now, so that gives us 2, 4, 6. We need 7. So I think we do the non-specialty worker. So that's 7. Now we'd have to exert both of them to get the bonus, which seems crazy because we have no Mystic Brew. Yeah, I don't think we can do that. I'd like to, but I don't think we can do that. That's a little crazy. It would really hurt our turn next round. And there's only 7 rounds. So, all right. So we successfully fought Wolfhowl, 143-1. In a mad scramble, you fight for your lives. Wolfhowl is vicious, but soon gives up, bounding over the path to the north. You find a supply of food nearby. 1 reputation, 2 crabs. So that's great. We're the first discoverer of crabs. So we get to claim that. It's only 1 in-game point, but it all adds up. Oh, we forgot to refresh this. So crabs are more common, but there are no cards out with crabs on them right now. The question is, do we go ahead and throw one of them on for the income, or do we wait? It's only $1 extra. We could wait and see, since it's a more common one, if we can get more to go higher. Maybe that might be better. So we're going to wait for now. Let's see what the bot is going to do here. So for 2 villagers, if you've explored this round, which it has not, explore a basic cave. Oh, and we forgot to do our cleanup here. These go exhausted. So number 2, so that's story 20. Gain the rewards from the choice with the lowest explored number. So that's 21. It's getting -1 reputation. I don't know what all these negative things that it's doing in these stories. Injure 1 villager. Well, that doesn't matter for it. 1 clam. So that's unfortunate for us because that is another first ingredient for the bot. 1 coin. It doesn't get coins. So not good for us. Good for us on the reputation track. Bad for us there. But I guess we are far ahead there. So it's better for us on that. And it now has a 3rd cave. All right, well, we can't wait any longer. So we're going to do this to get a coin. And we're going to use this quill to banish the ghost. And the only place we can put it is here. And so that's going to move us up the reputation track twice. And then we get $2. So that'll help us on the next round. And it's back to the bot. one villager, buy a good from the first player for 3 coins. So we don't have a good available. So if we had put one available, then it would buy it. Gain all goods on your building. So here it's going to do both of these tea leaves. It's already discovered the tea leaves, so it gets those. So this is going to be a high scoring good for it. If there are no goods harvested, it would claim 1 mystic brew, but there were, so that's its turn. So we have to pass now because we have no villagers and we have no free actions we can take. So it's back to the bot. The bot, 1 villager. If you have built this round, which it has not, I believe, this is the, I guess I should do these in a different pile so I can remember what it's done this turn. I'm going to do that starting next round. So unfortunately, we didn't get this one earlier from the bot. If you have an empty cave, build the most expensive outpost. So the most expensive is this one. And so that's its turn. It would go back to us, but we passed. And then now it'll pass because it has nothing left. So end of round, Ghosts will haunt. And so this is really good for us. It's going to go down 1, 2, 3 because it has 3 ghosts on its village. It does have cards that banish the ghosts, but it has not pulled them yet. So that is good for us in terms of timing. We have none. The round marker is going to go to that 4th round. We refresh the villagers. We rest villagers in boats. So we're going to give both of our boats back. And then we have 5 beds. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can move this one from injured to exhausted, but we don't have any mystic brew. So that's the best we can do right now. The bot, of course, gets them all back. We're going to collect our income, which is 4. So we'll trade 5 out. We'll refresh goods on building, but there are no buildings that have goods to refresh. And it's back to us at the beginning of round 4. Now I did just notice we forgot to put our new cave here, and we were successful in that. So we do get a pearl. So that is very important, and we should not forget that. So that was the Explorer from our last round where we did that 7 Explore, and we're successful in beating Wolfowl. So the question is, what are we doing with our lives now? Ooh, so there is a crab. So that could be good for us. We need to get other goods to fill in between though. I wonder if we just buy rice. So 7, 4, we could buy the rice and the crab. I don't hate that actually, because rice hasn't been discovered yet. So we're going to build this rice one for 4. So that's our turn. So it's now the 4th round. So we just draw a bot card and take the action. So learning from last round where maybe I'm playing too late, I'm too tired, we're going to put these prior round cards over here off to the side so we know what we've actually done this round. So 1 villager, it would buy a good from us if we were selling. Gain all goods in the building, it has none. And if there are no goods to be harvested, claim a Mystic Brew. Now, it uses Mystic Brew potentially for end-game scoring. And one thing to talk about in-game scoring, it generally scores the way that we do. One thing I would note though, on round 7, which is the last round, it automatically builds the star building that would be the highest scoring building for us at that time. So we have to make sure we have enough money to buy the best scoring building for us if we want it at that time. So something to be aware of in the strategy of playing against the bot in solo. So that was its first turn. So I think then we're just going to go ahead and build. So for 4, let's refresh this just to make sure. Okay, that doesn't change our decision. So for 4, we're going to do 3 of our dollars here. And we're going to spend one of our boats for that 4th dollar. And we're going to build this outpost here in our available cave so we can get 2 more crabs in the future. And this will refill. So that's good. We have clams as an option too, but we'll need to get some more caves. And the scoring on the advancement track is very powerful. So playing this game, I have found, is very important in the game. And then the in-game scoring on the building cards. All right, so the bot So remove the most expensive villager from the reputation board. If you have low reputation than at least one player, gain 1 reputation. Then draw a new bot card and take that action. And that costs no villagers. So for 1 villager, banish all your ghosts. Here we go. The first player chooses which building this ghost goes to, gain all rewards except for coins. So we want to minimize the rewards it gets. And in this case, the best outcome for us is either the outpost, but more likely mystic brews from bed places, because we're not playing the mystic brew game. There is a card that gives you rewards for collecting mystic brew, but we haven't really pursued that so far. And if we are doing this, then we're not going to do that. So if we send the ghost to one of our buildings with a bed, the bot will get a mystic brew. It doesn't collect coins, so that's all it gets, and it will only get any points in the end game if it has that card right there, or another card that gives it bonuses for mystic brews. So that's its turn, and that is actually helpful timing for us, because we're going to use one of our quill villagers to banish this ghost back to the bot, and we're going to send it to one of the bed spots. The non-bed spots, actually. So we move up the reputation track 2 more and get $2. All right, the bot is going to go for 2 villagers. If you've explored and it has not, then it's going to do a basic cave. So number 2, story 68, and it's getting the rewards from the choice of the lowest explored number, which is 68-2. It's moving up 1 reputation and getting 2 mystic brews. And then it's back to our turn. And so us being able to send that ghost away was very good for us. It gave us that money, which we can now use to buy a villager, train a villager, I think it's actually called. And we're paying for the ferry passage. And it's whether we pay for the cheap ferry or the expensive ferry, I think is technically the lore of the Above and Below Haunted. So we're going to pay the $2, but we're actually going to use this boat to pay $3 so we can get this one right here, which only requires a die roll of 2 to get 2 lanterns. And we're going for the hammer one there because we want some options to be able to harvest some of these goods. And it's back to the bot. So for 1 villager, it's going to banish this ghost back to us. So we're just ping-ponging it around. So we're going to send it back to this bed, and I guess we're going to go all in on giving the bot all of these mystic brews. It gets no coins. We're out of villagers, so we have to pass. It's going to, for its last villager, build the most expensive building with a bed. So that would be this building right here, building 8, which is crazily going to be more of the T. So that's a problem. It already has 3 of those. That's going to get up to 5. It's usually harvesting everything over here. Sometimes it doesn't get a couple of the last things put on, but with 3 rounds left, it's going to harvest those. So we already passed. It's going to pass now. So ghosts are going to haunt. So now we have a ghost. So we're going to go down 1. The round marker is going to move up to that 5. Villagers are going to refresh here. Lots of good explorer villagers there. We're going to rest our villagers, so we have 3, 4, 5 beds. So we'll get the boats back. And we have 6 workers here. So we're going to refresh our multi-work, our new build, our fancier feather one. So that's 3. Our other build is 4. And then our starter worker there, that's 5, because it has 2 lanterns versus the quill only has 1. So we'll use that for exploration this round, I think. Of course, the bot gets all of them back. We're going to collect our income, which is still 4. I think we should be able to increase it this round. That's the plan. We'll refresh any goods, but there are none to be refreshed. And it's back to us. And so there's only 3 rounds left. All right, so I feel like I want to claim this rice just so the bot does not take it. So we're going to claim the 2 rice. So because it's a hammer worker, we get to take 2 goods. And when you labor, you get a coin as well. So we get that coin. And we are claiming rice first, so we get to take that. So the only 2 left are squid root and the ruby fish there, which can appear on outpost cards here, but are often discovered in exploration as well. So maybe we'll do that in exploration this round, maybe. Otherwise, we could try to refresh that market and see if it shows up there. But it's not our turn anymore, so we'll look at that in a minute. So in rounds 5 and 6, we're going to roll a die. So 5, if it's 5, build the most expensive outpost. So it's going to be one of these 2, which are literally the same building. So it's that, which is going to give it 2 in-game points. This one's interesting, except that this we have in the lowest slot there. I do like at the end of every round, you're moving up the reputation track, so it kind of keeps you going up that. But because it's $7 and we need to be saving probably for one of these in-game ones, which we need to start looking at, probably not going to be worth it. But what are we going to do is the question. So we could do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 potentially. With exertion a little bit more. Do we go all in, or do we save a feather back to banish the ghost? Is the question. So we have, let me just look at our money situation as well. So I think I wanted to maybe pursue rice, but now we have crab. Hopefully we discover other goods. Maybe we want to build one of these clams, which will move us up the reputation track. Maybe we should not go for a dangerous cave is the question. But a dangerous cave is more likely to have squid root and everything. All right, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take these 3 exploring, and I just can't resist the dangerous caves. And we're going to keep our multi-use 1 back as an option, depending on what we discover. So 5 is story 107. You find fish folk in a deep cavern. Light pours down from large cracks in the cavern ceiling onto great heaps of fish bones piled up all along the lakeshore. The fish are all dying and we don't know why, says a fish folk villager. Investigate why the fish are dying, explore 7, or rob the village in its weakened state, explore 6. Gosh, I hate the rob the village. So we're going to try investigate why the fish are dying, explore 7, even though that's going to be harder for us because I really don't like the rob the village. So we'll just have to see how it goes. So we're rolling for this one. Great. That's great, great, great for us. That's not so great. Can we please get above a 2? And that's not great for us either. So we're going to have to use both of our boats. This is going to turn this into a 6, and this is going to turn this into a 6. And so that gets us 2, 4, 6. And we need 7. So we'll exert this one. You find a terrifying specter slicing fish with a scythe as it floats through the lake. With the help of the fish folk, you perform a banishing dance and send the ghost away. Reward, +4 reputation. Wow. 1 ghost, so that's not great. Ooh, 1 ruby fish. There we go. That is what we wanted. So we get to claim this ruby fish, which is 4 points, 2 coins. Okay, this was a good thing for us. That was excellent. And then we're also going to get the pearl because it was a dangerous cave. Okay, that was really, really good for us. We're going to go ahead and put the ruby fish here because we're not likely to get a lot of ruby fish. So these are going to get exhausted, and it's back to the bot. Oh, and we did forget to spend a villager for that first action. And then now it's the second action for 1 villager. So we've not labored on this round. So gain all goods. So it's getting these 2. These also remove the leftmost villager from the reputation board. Okay, that's its turn. So back to us. So because we spent so many villagers on the exploration, we're kind of out of time already. I think we're going to go ahead and put 1 rice there. We'll hold back the other rice. Well, I don't know that we need to. We'll hold back the other rice for now. We want to go ahead and try to get that extra money to build towards those things. So we could banish the ghosts. We no longer need a reputation, except for these ghosts will bring us down. So do we want another boat? Man, that exploration was super good for us. So I think we're going to use this. Well, or do we build? This is giving us reputation, which we don't need right now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to get 6 more. That's 13. And we'll get 6 more the next round, which is 19. So we could afford one of these. So let's kind of look and see what our options are here. So it's 9 points and 3 for each set of 2. We're going to have at least 2 sets of 2. So that would be 9. That would be 15. This is 10 plus 1 for each villager. We have 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 16. So that's better right now unless we get another set of 2. This is 9 plus, if we had 2 there and then 4 there, that would be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that'd be around the same. So right now, these 2 are going to be our best options for 15 or 16 points. And these are just lower points. I'm just going to tell you, unless you really have dug into those strategies. Now, this ghost strategy is really interesting, but we're not kind of pursuing that right now. And this is for a number of outposts. If you have kind of a money engine, you can do like one of these and one of these. If you're just getting like 1 good of each, you move up this track really quickly by doing like some of these cheaper buildings and just harvesting them. But we haven't really pursued that strategy. So I think, though, we could probably afford to go down on the reputation track and build something else right now is what I'm thinking. And maybe it's this clams to get us going up this track more. And that would actually give us another pair of 2. So then we'd have 3 of those. That would get us up to 18 on that. And it's only $3. It's a waste of that, but we could go ahead and throw them on and it would be even more income. So I think we're going to do that. So for $3, I'm going to build that, put that there. And we're just going to accept we're going to go down. We're so far ahead there, and I think we can gain back those points. In the bot here, for 1 villager, this is the first or second round. If it's the third round or later, if you have an empty cave, build the most expensive outpost. So that's going to be this one, which is going to be another good, which is going to move it up this track further. And then we're going to have to pass because we're out of options here. We don't want to put the crabs on yet because we're going to have 4 of those. We want to get those, put those on as late as possible. So we're going to just stay where we are for now. So the bot for 1 villager is going to gain these. For 1 villager, it's going to banish all ghosts. If you have no ghosts, gain 1 reputation. And then we need to shuffle these all up. And for 1 villager, it's going to claim another Mystic Brew. It's loving that Mystic Brew. You see there's a lot of those claim good ones. That's why I said it often gets those goods. So you just have to kind of count on that. Although I did have a game recently where it missed some of them. So, and then it's going to pass as well. So the ghosts are going to haunt. So we do lose 2 this round. The round marker is going to move up there to 6. The villagers are going to refresh. We have 5 beds. So we can refresh all of these here, which I think we're going to do. We're going to leave our OG basic villager injured. Sorry about that. These will refresh. We're going to collect our now $6. Which puts us at 10. We'd refresh goods if there were spots that refresh goods. And it's back to us for the next to last round. So we need to make sure that we have $17 at the beginning of the next round, which we have 10. We'd have 6 or 7 if we add another good. Let's go ahead and refresh this and see what this is. Ooh, there is the squid root. That would require spending 9. We only have 10. That would leave us with $1. That's not good. I don't think we can make up that difference. We want the squid root because it would be worth 4 points for us, but we'd be giving up some points up there. So I don't think we can make that trade-off. We just don't have that kind of money machine unless we explore and find some money, which is possible. So maybe that's what we do. So I think let's leave our multi-purpose back. That was a good strategy before. And I think we'll do... Ooh, we needed that one. I think we'll have to do something like this and hope that the rolls don't hate us. And we're going to do another dangerous cave because I can't stop myself. So that would be 2, 4, 5, 6. And then we could exert some. You know, what's life if you don't live on the edge, right? The rewards were really good last time. 3, 117. I have found in order to beat the bot, you do have to be a little risky. The nice thing about this version is there is mitigation, especially with the boats. If you get the boats and have that mitigation, there's some of the cards that mitigate some of the risk of exploration. That makes it a little bit more reliable. So we shall see. So we're doing 117. A Zelgar woman with long fangs and blue skin steps into your path. I've journeyed far from my flying island seeking my brother. He was restless and wanted to see the world, but a witch turned him into a little pig. She holds out a small pig with blue skin who squeals at the sight of you. Help me change him back, won't you? Confront the witch who turned him into a pig. Explore 8. Dang, that would be so hard for us. Okay. Search for another way to change him back. I think we're going to search for another way to change him back, which is 7. Explore 7 versus 8. Just because our numbers are not good. So, 7. All right, well, so start here. All right, it's already not good. Here, okay, that's better. 4, okay, that's good. It's not the worst. Okay, so we need to spend a boat to change this to a 6. And then we have 2, 4, 5, 6. And we only need to exert 1. I think we're going to exert the feather, the weaker feather. So that would be 7. And I think, once again, we cannot afford to get the bonus. We need one of these mega explorer people. And, you know, you can't do everything. We were prioritizing this game down here. We could have tried to do another villager and explored more instead, and maybe that would have paid dividends and we could have gotten more goods. Who knows? It's all a game of strategy and choices and luck, so we shall see. Search for another way to change him back. A hogflow traveler tells you of a rare flower that might cure the Zelgar of his pig form. You trudge through a muddy field until you reach a large sinkhole where thorny brambles climb the walls and mosquitoes swarm anything with a heartbeat. There in the mud is a clump of flowers, bright and blue. You feed the flower to the pig and he bursts out of the blue skin, his form growing to its original size and shape. He squeals like a pig, unable to say anything. I hope the pig voice isn't permanent, laments his sister. I feel like that maybe was a different voice than I used before. I'm not sure. All right. Reward 1 reputation. So that's good. We got that back. 1 thorn fruit. Adventure card 40. And of course, we get a pearl as well. That is going to be really good for us. An adventure card 40. Zelgar siblings. Blueskin Zelgar siblings have decided to live at your village for a time. Once per round, gain 1 mystic brew or 1 coin. At game end, gain 1 bonus VP. So we're getting 1 victory point at the end game just for doing this, I guess. And we can get a mystic brew or a coin once per round. Interesting. Okay, we'll think about that in a minute. We don't need to make that decision now. So these 3 all are exhausted. This is going to go there. We get this cave. All right, so this is the bot's first turn. So we're going to roll a die again here in the 6th round. So 2, it's going to train the leftmost villager. And that's going to cost it 1 villager. And we're almost out. It was very expensive for us to do that. Explore, I don't know. We already have so many villagers. Maybe we should have trained another one. I don't know. We've made our choices. We've made our choices. So the question is, do we just harvest? Do we go ahead and banish those? Now we do have this once per round new action that we can do, which is kind of cool. I don't know if I've had one of these cards, these adventure cards, that have a once per round action you can take, which is kind of a fun thing. So we could use that to get a mystic brew. So we're going to have all right, I think we're going to go ahead and use this hammer worker to get $1 and to harvest these clams. And we're going to go ahead and slot the clam there to get additional money. And then we're going to use this boat to get additional money as well. So we can hopefully buy, I think this one's going to be our best bet because we're going to have 2 rice, 2 thorn fruit, at least 2 crab, and then 2 clams. That's 4, that's 12, that's 21 points now on that. We're going to be able to buy that and hopefully have enough money to maybe build another building to do something else with. So that's kind of our plan. All right, so now the bot. For 1 villager, if you have an empty cave, build the most expensive outpost. So it's going to get the squid root, it looks like, most likely. Of course, it hasn't harvested it yet, so it doesn't have it quite yet. And then we have nothing left to do. Oh, we do need to take our once per round action. So we can take any free actions now, which that would be 1. I think we should use it. We'll tap it to take a mystic brew. So that'd be 4, 5, and then we can get it back. Okay, yeah, I think that's our best choice to get as many villagers back to use in our next round as possible. And then for 2 villagers, it's going to explore a basic cave. It's going to do story 46. It's going to get the lowest explore number reward. There's no number on those, so it says that we get to choose. So we're just going to do, if it's 1 through 3 the top, 4 through 6 the bottom. So we'll do 4 through 6 the bottom one, which is 464. And then it's the lowest one, which is going to be 466. And it's -1 reputation, still apparently causing trouble, and 1 crab, which is unfortunate for us because that's another good type that's going to get these tea leaves up very high on the board, because the way the bot works is at the very end of the game, it's going to put the least number of goods in the bottom slots and the highest one at the top. So these tea leaves are going to be very far up here. It's going to get very high scoring for those tea leaves. And then it says it's also going to gain 1 reputation and remove the leftmost villager from the reputation board. And then for 1 villager, if you have built this round, draw a new bot card and take the action. And I think it has built this round. So it would banish, if it has no ghost, gain 1 reputation. So remove the expensive villager from the board. If you have low reputation, gain 1, and then draw the next one. So for 1 villager, banish all ghosts. If you have no ghosts, gain 1 reputation. So catching up a little bit on there. And then it has no more actions. So we'll move these over. It does have this cave. Now we're running out of space here. So we're going to just shift its whole village up. So ghosts are going to haunt. So we're going down by 2. Hopefully we can reclaim those 4 points there. We'll see. The round marker is going to go to 7, the last round. The villagers are going to refresh. We have 5 beds, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. If we don't totally destroy our board here. And then 5. Ooh, let's do 5. And then we'll use this Mystic Brew to get it all the way back. Ooh, do we want that one or do we want this? Are we really going to go exploring again? I don't know. So we're going to have to, let me just think on this. We're going to have to banish. We're going to have to harvest. We're going to have to build. see what this is. I don't know that we're going to be able to afford. We'll refresh that as well. I'm torn on this because if it sends ghosts back to us, but it would only send one. So maybe we're okay. All right, so these are going to go back here. We're going to collect our income, which is now 7. We would refresh any goods, which there are not. Now you'll notice I'm just going to mention this. So for us, there are these end of round actions where we would move up the reputation track. However, as you notice, these cards say that it moves up the reputation track at various times, and we've been doing that. And the instructions for solo don't specifically say that you do any of these other actions on these cards. So I'm assuming we don't do these things because they're already moving up the reputation track based on these. So that is my assumption, but it's not completely clear. And with that, it's back to us. So the first thing we have to do is buy the building we want to buy, because otherwise the bot will buy it. So for the very expensive $17, which is most of our money, we're going to buy this one, which is going to be, I believe, at least 21 points for us. And we'll just throw it up here. And then now the bot will buy the star building worth the most VP for us. So we still have to figure out what the next one is. So right now we would get 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 for this one. We would get 9, 10, 11, probably 12, 13, 14, 15 for this one versus the 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 for this one. So I think it's going to be this one. So the bot's going to build this one, and that's for 1 villager for that first turn. All right, so now we have to figure out what to do. We know we need to harvest. The question is, can we get another good someplace? But how is the question? There's the nut here, but it's 9, and there's no way we can afford a 9. We could refresh. We could only refresh 1, so we could refresh one of those to see if there's one that looks like we could maybe try to afford it. Because we can get $1 here, we can get $2 there, so that'd be $3, $4, and maybe if we do a labor, that would be 5. So we're going to spend $1. The question is, do we go here or here? I think we do here because we do have a cave spot. It's a risk either way. Well, that did not help us, except for this would give us another crab. So that would be good. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do this. We're not going to sell goods because we don't want to help our opponent. The only question is if we explore to try to find another random good. But then that's going to use up some of our villagers is the problem. So we need to banish the ghosts. So this would give us 4 additional points right now. This would as well. So I think we're going to do this. We're going to spend 1, 2, 3. We'll do this for that coin that we get. 4 to build this in this cave, which puts another crab there. And that's our turn. And then the bot will go for 1 villager. It's going to banish. If it has no ghosts, it goes up by 1. So it's catching up still. And then here, we're going to use this one to labor and get those 2 crabs and $1. And then it's back to the bot for 1 villager. If it has an empty cave, which it does, it's going to build the most expensive outpost, which is going to be this one. Back to us, we're going to use this villager to get $1 and to harvest this crab. So we're going to be up to 5 of those. And then for 1 villager, here it's going to get the squid roots, and it's going to claim that there, which we knew it was going to do. Then it's back to us, and so we have to now, hopefully it does not send any ghosts back to us. So we're going to banish all the ghosts, and we're going to banish this one to a space without a bed. So we move up this 2, and then we'll get 2 coins. And so 3 villagers, so this is going to be the last action. It's going to explore a dangerous cave as its last action. And I think I did forget, it does get pearls. So let's just double check. It has not explored a dangerous cave yet, so we did not fail in that regard. So it's doing story number 3, which is 93, and it's getting the reward from the highest explorer number, which is going to be 2 reputation, 1 more squid root, 2 coins, which it doesn't get coins, and adventure card 39. And it does get a pearl as well. Adventure card 39, all players monsoon, endless rain fills the marshlands, always active, all buildings cost 1 extra coin. Buildings are worth a base of 2 VP. So we only have the free action we can take, which is to place our crabs as our last free action for goods, but then we have to pass. And then the bot has no villagers left, so it can't take any action. So it will arrange its goods as well. So it ranges from least to most. And man, it has a lot of those tea bags way up on that track. So that's the end of the round. So the ghost will haunt. So it loses 1 reputation. And then the round track will try to move, but it can't make it. So we go right into in-game scoring. So we place pearls on the highest level position on the advancement track. So we start with the advancement track, and for the purposes of scoring, the pearl just counts as an extra good. So that's 6 times 4 is 24, plus 12 is 36, 42, 44, 45, 46 for the bot on the advancement track. Let's see where we are. So we have 8 with the pearls on there, so that's actually really good. That's 8 times 4, that's 32, plus 6, 38, 42, 43, 44, 45. So we were only 1 point shy of the bot, so that was pretty good. We ended up holding our own against this, which is pretty incredible. Next, we're doing buildings now with the monsoons here. Buildings are worth a base of 2 each. So for the bot, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 20. And for us, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 18. So we were only 2 behind, so that's good. It could have been worse. Next is reputation, which here we definitely have a distinct advantage, and we know that. The bot here is only getting 1, but we're getting 5 plus 3 for top place, 8. And then for card bonuses, the bot here has 2 for each nut, which only has 1, so that's 2. And this is 2 more, so that's 4. And then just this big card, so that's 10 more, that's 14, plus the number of workers it has, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 14 plus 7 is 21. And then for us, we have 1 for each rice, which we have 2 rice, so that's 2. But here's our big one. This is 9, and then plus 3 times each set of goods that we have 2 or more of, which we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 times 3, which is 12, plus 9 is 21. And then for the 2 rice is 22, 23. So just edged out the bot from 23 to 21 there. All right, and the last thing we need to add up is just this ingredient track. Here for the bot, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then for me, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which gives the bot a grand total of 97. And drum roll, please, me a grand total of 102. Which means I eked out a win with 5 points. So then that was my playthrough of Above and Below Haunted. I hope that you enjoyed it. I think it's a fun puzzle as a solo game. I hope this showed you kind of the flow of the game and the different strategic options. You definitely have to weigh your different paths and what's available for you and what's going to give you the most points, because in the end, that's what kind of matters. But it's kind of interesting because with the explore options, sometimes that opens up different paths and different things that you didn't see as options before. So sometimes it's like, well, maybe I'll explore first and see what that does, and then see what avenue that opens up. And sometimes it does those things where it changes the entire game, and like, well, maybe that's my strategy. Now, in this case, it opened up that game-changing rule at the very end of the game. So it didn't make a difference, kind of whatever you did. Sorry, pearls. So that could kind of suck if you were not a big building person and that just taints your entire game. So I could see that being a problem. In this case, we were both very close, only one building apart, so it didn't make a difference, but that could be a little bit tragic if that popped up. But such is the way in Above and Below. You don't know what's going to pop up in those adventures, so you'll see what happens. But that could be a negative for some people with this game. It's not a negative for me because it's like, damn it, I didn't see that coming. But you don't know what's coming because you don't know what's in those caves. But you just want to keep going and seeing what you can find, because maybe it's going to be good for you. So get in there and explore life and explore the world and see what adventures behold you. And speaking of adventures that behold you, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And just remember, as always, the only rule is that there are no rules except in board games.